Hot topic, hot debate, generally due to misinformation, incompetence, dodgy sales tactics. So let me cover some of the points and give you a low-down real life thing. And just point out, my name is Jon Butt. This is my personal opinion mixed in with over 40 years experience of this trade and knowing how everything works. So this is a foam fire extinguisher. This is a fluorine-free foam fire extinguisher. Just to confuse you, quite often normal foam is known as AFFF, aqueous film forming foam. Fluorine-free foam is quite often known as F3, fluorine-free foam. Yeah, you get it. There is a lot of talk that foam fire extinguishers have been banned. That is simply not true. There is talk that they've been banned in Europe. Again, it's not true. There is new legislation in Europe that we are not part of, so it will affect Ireland, the bottom part, and Europe, but we're not part of. We will follow on. Very simply, these contain, the old AFFF contains what are known as forever chemicals. You'll probably know it from Gore-Tex, waterproofing products, Teflon, and Teflon is the most famous one. There's a film with Mark Ruffalo called Dark Waters, I think, which is probably good film, probably the best way to understand how all this stuff works and how it affects people. But very simply, it contains chemicals that just do not break down, and they're found everywhere and they cannot be got rid of. So they want to end selling foam. But that hasn't been implemented. There have been changes in foam. So about 10 years ago, foam manufacturers changed the chemistry of foam from what was called a C8 to a C6, so a much lesser version. And there was a 10-year sort of ending of the selling or manufacturing of that old type, and that ended in July this year. And so suddenly there's a lot of stuff saying, oh, foam's banned from July this year. This is thanks to social media and people seeing what's online, because it didn't work that fast in the old days. And so they've misinterpreted, run out to customers saying, you need to replace your foam extinguishers. And so it's not true. There is no legislation in the UK on the current foams. They are fine. Those old foam extinguishers will be long gone because foam needs to be discharge tested every 5 years, so they'll be long gone by now. And if there's any old ones out there, it's probably because they are not serviced and will never be found. Now, the fluorine-free clearly doesn't have the contents, and I'm not going to mention PFAS and PFOA and PFAS because it's all too confusing. But fluorine-free, fluorine is the stuff. Anything that settles on a surface generally has a fluorine compound. This hasn't got fluorine. It's good, but it's a completely different concept as to the old foam. If they hadn't have called it foam, it would be really helpful. But now you're going to have fluorine-free foam and foam and the same colour. Very confusing. Why do we still sell these and these? One, because they're not banned, but the second one is, unlike say Teflon that you can cook with and you're going to be eating or consume a bit every day, this is in a closed cylinder, metal cylinder. It does not leach out, it does not leak. The only way this is coming out is if you use it on a fire or if you mess about with it. Now, if you use it on a fire, which is worse for the environment, the fire or the foam or both? We would say precedent in the old days, like with Halon, BCF, when that was banned under the Montreal Protocol Agreement. Again, it's in a cylinder. Unless you mess about with it or put it on a fire, which is better, which is okay, we take that view in that please don't mess about with them, please have them serviced, please use it sensibly. That's the way this is going to go. Now, over time, they will come out with legislation, but like Europe, they will give a time for these to be sold, a time for them to be removed in the normal course of things. Just to give you a bit of history. Why do we have foams in the first place? Because it has an additive, it made water more effective. But now waters have caught up. If you're indoors, you don't need foam fire extinguishers, full stop. Unless you have lots and lots of flammable liquids, I don't advise you having them indoors. Just have water fire extinguishers and CO2 for electric. Then, all sorted. But if you've got a foam fire extinguisher, just let your competent service engineer replace it in the due course of servicing maintenance. It could be any time in the next 5 years. You'll be fine. You don't have to be concerned. It's fine. We have a safe removal. We do not test, we do not refill. You can look for a certified removal and disposal of foam. There are, as far as I know, 2 fire extinguisher specialists who dispose of foam correctly. We use one of them. And if they went out of business, we'd use the other. But it is becoming more expensive. So do not believe anybody who tells you this needs replacing. If you wish to replace it, think of replacing it with water. If you have to have fluorine-free foam, they're generally twice the price. So we're not going to try and push them, but we will leave that up to you. Now, I'm sure this will spark a lot of debate, and I'm sure everyone will point out what I've said is incorrect, but I haven't quoted any documents, any legislation, because there isn't any as of the time of recording of this video. Please feel free to get in touch with us and ask if you've got any questions, and we'll try and point you in the right direction. We are not the authority. Thank you for your time.